How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Cobbled Chaos. So today we're working on the Camaro. We're going to pretty much hammer on this all weekend. I got a pretty good list of stuff that I want to get crossed off. A lot of it's pretty small, go pretty quick. But yeah, we're just going to see what we can get done over the weekend. And my goal is to test drive this thing this weekend. So, but right now we're just kind of doing a little shop cleanup. I bought this carpet kit at a swap meet, and it says it's for this car, and we're going to open it up and find out if it actually is. All right, Julianne is doing the unveiling, and it actually looks like there's more carpet in there than I thought. I didn't know if this is just like a front half kit or if it's the whole thing. You never know at swap meets, or it might be somebody's just leftover project carpet kit. So there's some heel panels. So that, I'm assuming, is probably the front half.
Yeah, it's even got
the back half and the seat pieces. Oh yeah, it's molded for the pans.
It even has
Yeah.
for safety.
Alrighty. Well, we got carpet to lay over the rust holes, so that's good. So yeah. Well, that's I've been wondering about this, and I've had this in the car for probably close to a year, but yeah, it was super cheap, so I'm glad we got that. Well, we pulled all the junk out of the trunk, and I should have left it in there because I didn't remember it being all rusted out. So I'm going to have to do a trunk pan on this car eventually. So like I said, I'm just going to get this thing going to play with for whatever, the summer or a couple months or till the Le Mans is done. And everything on this car will be torn down and gutted. But for now, it's just get her going, have some fun with it. And yeah, maybe get a few laughs out of this summer. So yep, we'll not let this hold us back. I always like to do a list of stuff, and this is kind of some basics that I want to get done before the show we're going to. But for this weekend and to test drive it, these starred ones are the ones that I have to get done. And that will be oil in the rear end, oil in the transmission, hook up my rear brake line, adjust the brakes. I want to change the engine oil and check all my lug nuts and make sure they're tight. So with those, I should be able to put this thing in gear and take it down the road, and hopefully everything else works out. So we're going to start crossing some stuff off. I'm going to start with working on the rear end and getting the oil and the rear end and the transmission done, and the rear brake line, and get the brakes adjusted. So I want to get everything done underneath the car so I can get it off the jack stands and get the rest of the stuff done. So let's get her done. So when you're adding oil to things, if you haven't gotten one of these, it is super handy. They sell them at any parts store or whatever, but it just pumps oil. I can hook it right to this big jug and crawl around under there and pump everything full instead of trying to squeeze them bottles in and, you know, just fighting with it. This thing, you can jam that hose. It's got little barbs on it that just stick in the hole, and it'll hold itself in there and just pump away, and it makes it almost a pleasure to put oil in stuff. Alrighty, I got the rear end filled with some oil, and I'm gonna move on to the transmission. Well, I'm too fat to fit under this thing, so I went ahead and got the front end jacked up, and then as I was cleaning up, I found some old valve covers, and they're pretty nice, but they're a little dirty and crusty, but they'll look a lot more period correct on this motor. I'm not going to clean them up, do anything. I'm going to slap them on there just so it still kind of looks like an old school barn find. So yeah, that'll be a nice little addition to this thing. So this is a perfect example where this little pump comes in handy for putting oil in here, because that right there is my filler, and I've got about 4 inches between it and my exhaust. So trying to get a bottle up in there or anything, it'd be a pain in the butt, and no way you'll get a funnel or nothing. But this pump, it'll just pump it right in there and make a quick chore of it. And just like that, the transmission's got oil in it. So now we can come over here and cross off these bad boys. This just kind of gives you a little motivation to see stuff crossed off. So yeah, while it's up on stands, I'll do the brake line and change my motor oil. So that's the rear brake line I got to throw in. It's just the one that comes from the frame down to the rear pumpkin. And while I'm doing that, I'll probably adjust the drum brakes and get a little tension on them to where they're pretty close to being where they need to be. And like I said, I just want to get everything I need to under this car done, and then I can get it off these stands. I'll roll it up to the front of my shop and have a little bit nicer. It's sunny and nice out right now, so maybe I can get a little sunshine while I'm in the shop. Sweet, we got the old one out. It's a little crusty rusty, but actually the new one looks like it's the same one. So we lucked out there, and I'm going to slap this thing in. Alrighty, well, we got that line in, and while I was under here, I wanted to, I don't know if you can see, I was going to adjust the rear brakes up a little bit, but there is no slot where you can get a screwdriver in there to adjust the adjuster. So that's just a divot with grease on it, right, where is it? Right there, that I stuck my finger in to see if that was a hole, but it's not. And in my kit, it came with the little grommet deals that plug off them holes, but there are none. So I guess I get to cross two things off the list. Well, we got the rear brake line in. I can't adjust the brakes, so, and I mean, when I put the drums on, I had them adjusted enough to where the drums went on a little snug, but I figured they'd need a little bit more, but they'll self-adjust, hopefully. So, yeah, next we're going to change the motor oil. Alrighty, we're going to do this oil change. I thought I had a filter. I didn't, so I just went to the store, got one. But yeah, I haven't changed the oil in this motor. Again, this motor was sitting in a Jeep in the woods for several years, and when I got it, it was locked up, and I got it broke free, and it seemed to run decent, and it found its way in this car. So yeah, I'm going to see what the oil looks like in this. I actually did my New Year's burnout with the oil that's in this, and on the dipstick it doesn't look bad, but yeah, I'm definitely going to change it, and we're going to do that right now. Well, it doesn't look like it's horrible oil. It actually, with the light on it, it's kind of gold, but mainly black. But yeah, it doesn't look as bad as I was thinking. It's not milky and full of water, so that's a good bonus. Well, I pulled off the valve cover, and I'm going to swap on, I don't know. This isn't real bad looking in here. It's got the 041 heads. Yeah, it doesn't look like just a sludgy mess so much. The oil actually looks pretty fresh in it. So, but yeah, I'm going to throw these. I mean, these are dirty and dusty, and like I said, I'm not going to clean them up. I'm going to throw them on there just so it kind of blends with the rest of the motor. But they're a little more period correct, so I'm going to get these slapped on here. And there we go. Not quite as, I guess, racy looking as these other aluminum ones, but they're just a little more classic to the car, and like I say, they're just as dirty and dusty as anything. So yeah, I think these kind of fit the bill. And there we go. I think these have just the right amount of crust and goo on them to kind of fit in here, so I don't want to look like I tried too hard, and I think I'm accomplishing that. So but yeah, so those are done. I think it's pretty much, oh, I got a hook. Now I'm going to do a line lock on this master cylinder and get the rear brake lines all hooked in. Yeah, and then I can start bleeding brakes on this thing. Well, I'm striking out on the line lock for this, well, for now. So I got this a long time, well, I don't know, a year ago or so when I got this car. And I never really read the directions on it, but I was just reading, and these are a pipe to flare fitting that I need, and I don't have those, and I want to get this thing going. So I'm just going to plumb all the lines in, get everything bled, and worst case, I got to rebleed the front brakes when I install this. So but yeah, I don't want this to hold me back, so I'm going to save this for a later day. So I couldn't find the little plastic fittings that you put in these to run the hoses up to bench bleed this thing, so This is the best I came up with. I just kind of undid the hard lines. I got a couple hoses I'm just going to dump in there. And I'll bench bleed this master cylinder. Start with that. Alrighty, got the oil change done. Julianne is installing the front new park light lenses. And I'm going to get back to bleeding these brakes and getting this brake master cylinder bench blade.
Oh, the old... I know what the vagina knew.
Check out this.
Oh, we...
Did you do a
we...
Nerd.
We got it licensed and plates coming, custom, that, as Ken said the other day, hopefully we get what we ordered. It has been, since June 1992, 11,981 days since this has been on the road.
30, how many years?
33 years.
33 years.
Can't wait to see it out there very soon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh, I hear fuel now. Did we run it out of fuel New Year's?
No. Moving.
There we go.
I see it moving in there.
Good to hear it running.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So yeah, we just gotta bleed brakes. All right, we had a great day working on this thing. We got parking light lenses are in, oil change, oil in the transmission, oil in the rear end, the rear brake line in. I used a vacuum bleeder and pulled all the fluid to the slave cylinders in it. And tomorrow we're gonna actually bleed the brakes. I got a seat temporarily bolted in just to bleed brakes and maybe take it for this test drive. I swapped the valve covers. And we got it fired up. So pretty good day today. I think basically however long it takes to bleed the brakes on this, and I get to go drive this thing tomorrow. So we'll find out what bugs are left. I'm super excited to drive it and see how it does. So yeah, look forward to tomorrow, and I guess that's it for tonight. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we shall see you guys later.